Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
All right, it's our fourth hour now. If you missed the first three, go ahead and subscribe to that podcast so you don't miss it. It's a great little podcast. It's a radio show podcast, which are, frankly, the superior podcast to your typical podcast, because the thing about podcasts is that it's hosted by podcasters, whereas our radio podcast is hosted by radio hosts. That would be me, Larry O'Connor, and she, Julie Gunlock. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
Joining us right now is Congressman Andrew Clyde of the great state of Georgia, and he has adopted a brand new bill that he has a co-sponsor over on the Senate side. His name's Ted Cruz. You might know him. It's called the Clean D.C. Act. Well, that's an idea. You're getting out there with some scrub brushes and you're going to clean up this town. It's been dirty, although recently, I don't know if you've seen, Congressman, Union Station is beautiful. You could eat off that floor.
Let's not go crazy.
I'll tell you what, President Trump has done a phenomenal job of helping clean D.C., and so I think that this particular piece of legislation is going to help him on his way. And we're definitely going to bring this to the House floor, and we're going to pass this. I think we tried to do it 2 years ago, and President Biden vetoed it. It was the wrong thing for Biden to do, and it's finally time to bring it back and actually to eliminate this D.C. City Council anti-police legislation called the Comprehensive Policing and Justice Reform Emergency Amendment Act. You know, anything that has justice reform in it, all right, you know it's got to be bad.
You know that more people are going to get carjacked and mugged on the streets, yeah. Clean D.C., by the way, stands for Common Sense Law Enforcement and Accountability Now. Now, Congressman, does this rescind home rule, or does it reassert Congress's traditional constitutional role in robust oversight on how our federal capital city is managed?
It definitely reasserts congressional oversight. You know, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of our Constitution says that Congress has exclusive legislative authority over the federal city, not the folks that live here, but Congress does. And that's because this city is the city for all Americans, not just those who live here. And our founding fathers recognized that, and so put into the Constitution that the representatives of the people that come here will be the ones who will have legislative authority over this city. And when the city council makes a radical left-wing move like this, a defund the police move, a move that's been responsible for over 1,200 law enforcement officers leaving the force because they don't feel safe, they don't feel supported, they don't feel backed, then that city council law has got to be gone. And that's exactly what the Clean D.C. Act is going to do.
Representative Clyde, it's interesting that, you've laid out a great argument here for this Clean Act and also have sort of highlighted some of the problems within the city, and yet statehood is not dead. You still have even the members surrounding it, Virginia senators, Virginia reps, and Maryland reps that surround the city, whose constituents, by the way, avoid the city. I haven't gone in the city in ages. They push for statehood. Why? Can you explain to me why that would be such a bad idea for not just the residents of D.C., but for tourists, your constituents who come to visit the city, and also the surrounding areas?
Well, being a state would give them more autonomy, and that's not what our founding fathers intended for the federal city. They didn't want any particular state to have authority over the federal city, where Congress meets. And so they put it in the Constitution that Congress has the authority. We rule this city, and that's the way our Constitution was written. And our founding fathers were very wise and very brilliant men. And so, it has worked very well until home rule went into place in 1973. And then the city has been allowed to literally go into ruin. It is crime-ridden. In fact, just the piece of legislation that actually did pass both the House and the Senate, and Biden was forced to sign into law, was eliminating the revised Criminal Code Act of D.C. Think about that. The radical city council here eliminates every mandatory minimum sentence for violent crime, second-degree murder, and below. That's incredible that they would do that. But if we hadn't have struck that down, just think of where our crime would be today. It'd be much more magnified.
Yeah, by the way, for all the skeptics and cynics who think, well, you'll never get enough Democrats to pass this, we did. In 2023, Congressman Clyde had Democrats because, see, their constituents and their staff members have to deal with the crime and the hazards of Washington, D.C., just like Republicans do. So they get it. So it certainly has. Do you think that you're going to have as much bipartisan support this time around in the Senate?
I think we'll have as much bipartisan support in the House. I mean, in fact, we already have one Democrat, Henry Cuellar from Texas, who was a victim of violent crime, a carjacking in Navy Yard just about a year ago or so. He is an original co-sponsor of this bill now. So it's already bipartisan. We didn't have that before, but it is now. And we've had other actual Democrat members be subjected to violent crime. Angie Craig was one of them. And both Cuellar and Craig voted for this bill back in they voted for the revised Criminal Code Act in 2023.
It is, in fact, wasn't there a Minnesota congresswoman who literally was threatened with a maniac with a knife in her elevator the day of the vote last year, 2 years ago?
That was Angie Craig. You're correct.
Right. Yeah, thank you.
Right. He grabbed her from behind. And this is a guy that had 12 prior convictions for violent crime, and you cannot allow those people back out on the street to do, to perpetrate crime after crime after crime. That's the problem here. A revolving door of justice. There is no justice when that happens.
So, I don't ask this, it's going to sound like a joke, but I'm being entirely serious. We know that in 2023, we're told that President Biden vetoed this law. Do we know that he vetoed it? Was this another one of the auto pens? Was there a public veto ceremony? I'm being completely serious.
No, and that's a great question. Did the auto pen veto it, or did President Biden actually veto it? I can't answer that question right now, but that's a great thought, because there's so many things that he didn't sign that the auto pen signed for him. We don't, we'll have to do some research into that. I don't know off the top right now whether that actually happened, but that's something certainly to look at. I know one thing: when it passes the House and the Senate, President Trump will be signing it. I know that.
Have you had a meeting with D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, who just last week expressed her support for extending the role of federal law enforcement and National Guard in the district to supplement Metropolitan Police Department efforts? Is she on board with this, or is she trying to protect autonomy for the district council?
I have not spoken to Mayor Bowser about it, but you know what? At least she's willing to recognize that what President Trump is doing is benefiting not just the city, but the entire country as well. Because when crime goes down, then those folks who are coming to the city from our districts, can feel more safe and can be more safe. And that's right. The whole point here. President Trump wants the city to be safe for everyone who comes to visit. I mean, that was, that's one of the reasons we eliminated the BLM Plaza. It was a 2-block-long billboard for a radical defund the police organization. And she got rid of that. Only took 3 weeks.
Representative Andrew Clyde of Georgia, thank you. Has the Speaker committed to putting this in the hopper and on the agenda and fast-tracking this so we can get some votes soon?
The last word I got is it will come to the floor next week.
Oh, fantastic. We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll certainly report on it right here. Good luck with that. Get those votes. Whip them up. Whip them. Whip them good. Thanks, Congressman.
Thank you all. Great to be with you.
Little Devo reference there. Devo.
Yes, I heard that. Yes.
Appreciate that.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
Why is it all of the disgusting, despicable, crime-ridden, dangerous cities in our country have great old standards written about them, right? New York, New York. Chicago, Chicago. I left my heart in San Francisco. You can't walk down those streets without getting attacked these days.
That's right.
Unbelievable. We got to write some nice songs for safe cities. That said, as Sinatra loves his Chicago, and I do too, it's a great town. Trump does as well. He's got a Trump Tower there. He's trying to protect his neighborhood and the innocent American citizens who are besieged on a regular basis by the most murderous city in our nation. Yesterday, the Trump administration launched ICE raids called Operation Midway Blitz Department of Homeland Security sent reinforcements in to help shore up the Metropolitan Police Department there. These are ICE agents who are going after illegal criminal aliens. This is in honor of Katie Abraham, who was killed in a drunk driving hit and run caused by a criminal illegal alien named Julio Cucol Bol in Illinois. According to the Department of Homeland Security, the ICE operation will target criminal illegal aliens who flocked to Chicago and Illinois because they knew Governor J.B. Pritzker and his sanctuary policies would protect them and allow them to roam free on American streets. Here's Griff Jenkins of Fox News reporting on the new operation.
So the surge has begun. You can see the new ICE vehicles on the streets here in Chicago. We're just outside the Cook County Courthouse, but that surge is part of the ICE-led Operation Midway Blitz that they say is in honor of a beautiful young Chicago woman, Katie Abraham, who was killed by an illegal alien drunk driver back in January of this year. And while we are getting reaction from Illinois Senator Dick Durbin, who says that this blitz won't make Chicagoans safer, let me show you this video. Early this morning, I was out with one of ICE's teams, and we arrested this individual. His name is Juan Gaspar, and he is a 43-year-old illegal alien from Mexico. He has been convicted in 2024 of forcibly sexually assaulting a child under the age of 13. He was taken, as you can see here.
Dick Durbin, once again, along with the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois, saying this will not make Chicago any safer. That sort of defies explanation, doesn't it?
Yeah, Dick Durbin is such a waste of time. But, this also, what a lot of people don't talk about is this actually is this will help the region itself. I have relatives who live in Iowa. They talk about how a lot of illegals make their way into Iowa from Chicago, St. Louis, and the other sort of surrounding areas, Indianapolis. A lot of them sort of spread out and end up relocating to other big cities within that region. And so this will help the entire region there in central Illinois and surrounding areas. So this is much needed. Those are just two examples of the horrible crimes that have been committed by these illegal aliens. And, obviously the people in charge in those blue areas are not going to do anything. So glad that ICE is stepping up.
By the way, the big objection that we heard from Governor Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson was that we didn't get any notice about this. They didn't tell us. They didn't warn us that this was happening. I'm sorry. I knew this was happening. Trump's been talking about it for a week. He actually posted an Apocalypse Now themed meme over the weekend saying, I love the smell of deportations in the morning.
Right.
With him dressed up like the Robert Duvall character.
And if they're upset that they're not going to get specifics on this, maybe it's because you rat them out.
That's
maybe
right.
It's because you would tell all of those NGOs who try to attack ICE officials and try to dox them. Maybe that's why you're not getting specifics, and I'm sure that's what they mean. They wanted specifics on where these people were where the ICE officials were going to be.
Here's Borders Czar Tom Homan yesterday talking about why Chicago is so important.
We're at war with the criminal cartels, and Governor Pritzker protects criminal, illegal alien, public safety threats every day in that state, along with Mayor Johnson. We proved that. The first week of the administration, I went to Chicago. I started an operation there. The first day, we arrested 9 sexual predators, most of them child rapists. We arrested 9 members of TDA. Several of those TDA members had a pistol, an illegal pistol with a switch on it, which makes that pistol fully automatic. We arrested 2 illegal aliens that had a homicide conviction. That was the first day in Chicago. So, President Trump and this administration, we're at war with the criminal cartels and those who want to murder and rape the American citizens. You're damn right.
There you go. And just to be clear, the Democrats are on the side of the murderers and the rapists. And they didn't give us notice. He literally ran on this every single day of the campaign last year. Meanwhile, Supreme Court has ruled 6-3 that, yes, the administration and ICE agents can continue operating in Los Angeles with their deportation raids. Here's how the New York Times reported it. Supreme Court lifted restriction on ICE agents in Los Angeles, allowing them to make indiscriminate stops based on factors like ethnicity. There's the New York Times stoking racial outrage in our country as usual. Here's Mayor Karen Bass reacting to the decision.
Justice Sotomayor said it best in her dissent. She wrote, "We should not have to live in a country where the government can seize anyone who looks Latino, speaks Spanish, and appears to work in a low-wage job. Rather than stand idly by while our constitutional freedoms are lost, I dissent." And I agree with her. I dissent. We all dissent.
Yeah, well, you're dissenting to an empty room right now, pal. The Constitution is not a suicide pact. 824.
Coming up, we'll have some amusing clips of Don Lemon interviewing people on the street. He's a joke. And speaking of jokes, Wes Moore announces he's running for governor. Keep it here. It's 8:30.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. WMAL. News now. Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It's 8:37. It's O'Connor and Company. Coming up in 30 minutes, we're going to hand it off to Christopher Plant Esquire, the proprietor and host of the Chris Plant Show. It's Larry O'Connor alongside Julie Gunlock, who, can I call you Duchess, Julie? The way you're wearing your hair today.
Oh, and it's sort of piled on top.
Piled
yes,
up
fits.
high. You look like a duchess. Just keep those
thank
black
you.
framed glasses off your head.
I'm going to go upstairs and make some really bad jam.
Don Lemon. Don Lemon used to stand astride the media empire that is CNN primetime.
Yes.
And then they moved him to the morning show, which, let's face it, it's a hard job to do a morning show. Trust me.
It is.
I know. And they put him on the air with two women. Oh. I mean, I've never felt more empathy for Don Lemon than this very moment. But apparently, unlike yours truly, Don Lemon was a big a-hole behind the scenes. And
Yes.
CNN ended up firing him. He got, I think, sort of a bit of a payout, severance, whatever.
Sure.
He ain't hurting. He decided to start a Substack, and it's just an embarrassment.
Because that's what you do.
That's what you do.
What you do.
Well, you'll remember he wanted to do an X show, and Elon Musk embraced it and said, "Yeah, we want conservative
Sure.
voices, liberal voices." So he scores for his very first episode a very rare interview with Elon Musk,
And was a jerk.
quite true to form. He was, in fact, an a-hole. And so now he's still doing it on Substack and I guess YouTube, but boy, it's not looking good for him. The numbers aren't there. And for some reason, he's decided that his real strength is going to be to take a cameraman, I'm guessing it's his boyfriend, husband situation, and a microphone and go walk the streets and talk to just random dudes on the street.
So embarrassing.
Well, I got to tell you. So last week you mentioned this moment where he started harassing National Guardsmen at Union Station.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're not supposed to talk to the media anyway, but they were very polite. But here, take a listen. Cut 30 here.
Hi, guys. How are you? Hey, how are you guys? How do you feel being here? Great question.
To the state PAO's office. Thank you.
That's it? You guys aren't talking?
Yeah, state PO, sir. I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you very much.
There you go. They were polite. They weren't talking to him. But then he tried to force his way into Marjorie Taylor Greene's office. Cut 31.
My name is Carlos Alvarez Arantes. I'm the founder of American Opposition. I'm sure you've seen the protests on the streets and the Tesla boycott and all of that. We were one of the organizations that started that. This is Jessica Denson with the removal commission.
Office.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to ask you to stop recording. This is a private office.
Yes, and we're here to see the congresswoman.
You're not residents of our district and you haven't requested
Yes, well, we're here requesting a meeting.
Well, again, your group is still recording. If you continue to record,
Well,
we're going to have to contact the Capitol Police.
Okay.
So that wonderful staff member of MTG saw this for the publicity stunt that it was. And my favorite part, listen to the door slam here, cut 32.
All right.
All right. So I guess Don Lemon thinks that this makes him look good, or that he's some sort of, guerrilla journalists, out there getting the nitty gritty. So now it's become this thing. I almost feel like people are like walking the streets hoping to run into Don Lemon so that they can make him look like an idiot. Because here, take a listen. This is in New York City here. Don Lemon, cut 19.
Where do you live?
I live here.
You do?
In the Bronx.
Yeah?
Yes.
Do you feel safe?
Yes.
You do?
A little bit.
Do you think we need the National Guard on the streets here?
What?
National Guard on the streets to help with crime.
Maybe more.
You think National Guard or just more police?
More police.
What about armed military?
I think it's good. If we are going to be safe,
Then you're all for it.
yes.
All right. Well, nice to meet you.
The better is we are safe.
Yeah.
It's the important thing.
Don, you might not want to take somebody from the Dominican Republic who's sort of used to federales on the street.
Right. Exactly. This is not. He's like, at CNN, these people were vetted so that they had the right talking points.
That's
I'm very
right.
unhappy with just this random lady who's obviously a fascist.
He's much worse here than DR. I promise. I'm okay with it. All right, but then here's my favorite. Because here's the thing. Oftentimes, if you're in New York and you run into a man on the street, the guy you run on the street might be a New Yorker. And he might act like a New Yorker.
Yep.
And he might talk like a New Yorker. And, well, here's what happened.
How you doing, sir? Good. Can we talk to you? Where are you from? You live in New York?
Who are you?
Don Lemon.
You're a moron, dude.
Thank you. So are you.
Yeah, that's very nice of you
Yeah,
to
nice to
say.
see you.
He called him a moron. He called him a moron if you didn't
He
hear
called
that.
him an effing moron.
Right.
Who are you? I'm Don Lemon. Oh, yeah, I know you. You're a effing moron.
I love New Yorkers. God bless them. And then Don goes, so are you. How nice.
He keeps doing this.
I know.
He keeps doing this.
Does he like the punishment? I don't understand.
Well, there is a certain segment of society who enjoys the humiliation. You never know.
He is a joke. A joke. And again, Larry, I have to say, like, you get humiliated, you get fired, but you have lots of money. Maybe, I don't know, travel. Like, learn a skill.
He's addicted to being on camera.
Needlepoint. I've started needlepointing. It's lovely.
So wait. That takes a discernible skill. Standing on the sidewalk, being humiliated publicly on camera. Anyone can do that. And Don Lemon proved it. So he decided, all right, hold on, Baltimore. Let's go to Baltimore because they love
they're
Westmore
nice there.
Baltimore will be different. Baltimore will be different. So here he is in Baltimore.
The president said he wants to send troops here to Maryland. What do you think? Baltimore into Maryland?
I'm not opposed of it. I think it'll be a good idea.
Why so?
Maybe we clean up some of this crime-ridden neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Is
the crime bad?
Very bad.
Is crime bad?
Is the crime bad in Baltimore?
The education of Don Lemon right before our very eyes.
grief.
And you can subscribe and see it for yourself at his Substack for just $7 a month.
Later this afternoon on the Derek Hunter Show, Zoran Mondami says New Yorkers won't move to Florida because of the lack of a vaccine mandate. We'll talk about it at 3 o'clock on WMAL.
What's going on, Maryland? So listen, when I launched my campaign for governor 4 years ago, I had never run for political office before. My background is I'm an Army combat veteran, and I ran one of the largest poverty-fighting organizations in this country. So
Yeah, right. But you didn't solve poverty, of course, in any way. Poverty fighting. He got rich off of a poverty fighting organization. Imagine that. Westmore, your governor, announcing today, making it official that he's running for re-election. But he's really running for president, let's face it. The other big headline coming out of Maryland is that he's been pushing back on Donald Trump's effective use of federal law enforcement and National Guard in D.C. to bring down the crime rate there. He's calling him a fascist, authoritarian. But then quietly over the weekend, Julie, he announced that the Maryland State Police would be increasing their resources on the ground in Baltimore. If everything's so fine in Maryland and they don't need federal reinforcements, why is he doing that? And why now? Why didn't he do it over the course of the last 3 years, Julie?
What an interesting campaign strategy there. You've got to bash President Trump. You've got to exhibit your TDS, Orange Man Bad, the whole thing, and yet secretly, you're grateful for the measures that Trump has taken to bring order and law enforcement to your cities and towns. Really interesting.
this is the place you're going to want to be for full coverage of this new race for governor next year, because we'll cover it like no one else around. It's 8:53.